Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius and Anucauskas. Today is the 22nd of January 2020. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute an investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our YouTube channel here, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our research page, which you click here on the top, and it will take you to the page which we update on a daily basis. So guys, I think you're gonna find something useful in here for yourselves, so feel free to visit us here occasionally on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right here. But right now, let's jump on into the charts. Now the first one I'm going to touch on here is Nikkei. So overnight we had a nice boost here, and we saw the Asian markets rising. We saw the cash equities of the European indices and the US indices as well. So all of them were rising nicely to the upside. So looking at this picture here on Nikkei, overall you can see that yes, we are kind of pushing higher. We're trading above well, this little tentative upside support line, and this is a very tentative line because in a way, if you start drawing something from here, from this low, well, you don't really get anything much here. So in a way, this kind of just kind of shows something like this here, but basically for now, yes, it drifted lower yesterday. In a way, if you want to keep this upside line here, then you could in a way say that it managed to rebound from this area, from this line here, this upside support line taken from the low of the 26th of August. But given that we did have a few violations here in the beginning of January, so we're not really going to focus on this line too much. But again, for now, we'll just keep it for the sake of it on the chart. But the main interesting part of Nikkei here from the technical side is of course the fact that the index is approaching the high of the last week near the 24,116. So basically this is going to be our barrier here, the one that we're going to be watching closely. If we do get a push above this would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and yes, further extensions to the upside might be possible. Now if I jump back into, well, not back, but jump into a daily chart, we can see that if we do get a break above this, then yes, this is where more buyers could start joining in, and potentially we could see the index drifting towards the 24,448, or in a way you could round it up towards the 50. But this is the area that we're going to be aiming for if we get a break above the 24,116 territory. So keep your eyes on this one. In terms of the downside and looking at this daily chart here, we could consider lower levels if we see a drop below today's low near the 23,835, and of course a break of this this medium-term upside support line taken from the low of the 26th of August. So but even then, as you can see, we do have another upside line here, a slightly shorter one, and this could also provide some decent support, but again, we'll consider this idea if we get a break of this medium-term upside line first, and then, like I said, we'll consider a deeper correction to the downside. For now, it seems that the downside could be slightly off the table, but then again, we need a strong push above the 24,116 level first before getting comfortable with higher areas. Bitcoin. So I looked at this one for well, actually yesterday I looked at this one, and basically what I was saying here in my morning video yesterday, that given the fact that we managed to break this downside line here, taken from the high of the, or should I say from the highest point of June, then we managed to clear this 8,470 territory, and we've pushed higher where the crypto met resistance near the high of the 10th of November, which is around the 9,150. So did have a small overshoot, but that's not significant, and then it drifted lower. But this is where it become a little bit more interesting, because it drifted lower, but again found support near this barrier, this breakout barrier that I was talking about previously, from which it kind of rebounded now and it continues to balance above it. Now, of course, all this is looking quite positive here for the buyers, and we could see this one drifting higher. The only thing with the upside for now, given the current situation, probably ideally we would like to see just a wait and see, wait for a break above the 9,150 zone first, and only then we will start getting a little bit more comfortable with higher areas. Until then, we're not going to really do anything, and yes, in a way we are still somewhat bullish, but given that it's still a little bit close to this this key area here near the 8,470, because even if it, let's say, drops below this, not all is lost for the buyers, because still, as long as it remains above this downside line, still the bulls could have an opportunity to step in and drive this one higher. So that's why I do have this arrow here as well, just in case this suddenly drops below the 8,470 zone. If it starts dropping below this downside line and then starts sliding below the 7,689 zone, then, well, I mean, this is where it could turn out to be ugly for the sellers, and we could see this one drifting further south. So for now, like I said, we are leaning more towards the upside. The only thing is that to get a little bit more comfortable with the upside, we need to see a push above the 9,150 zone. So keep your eye on down. AUDUSD. So perfect move lower. Let me just jump back into a 4-hour chart on this one. So perfect move lower, and this is what I was talking about previously, where I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this this medium term upside support line taken from the low of the 2nd of October. We saw a nice rebound here this morning. Let me just actually push this one a little bit back here. So we had a nice rebound from this upside line, and of course the whole idea here is, as long as it remains above this line, we will stay positive. So the idea here, yeah, maybe, to be honest, we could see a bit of a correction here, a bit of correction to the upside. The only problem here from the shorter term perspective, of course, is this little downside resistance line that we've got here, taken from the high of the 16th of January, and as in a way, if it continues to stay kind of intact, well, I mean, this could become tricky here with the upside. The way you could start looking at higher levels here is if we get a break of this little short-term downside line, and then we get a nice push above this little territory near the 0.6875 zone, roughly around there, marked by the high of the 21st of January, or in a way, actually, for those who are more on the cautious side, you could just wait for a push above the 0.6888 zone, because this is the high of this week, and if we do get a push above this level, this would also place the rate above the 200 EMA, probably also above the 100 EMA here, shown as the green line. So a bit more positivity could come in here into the market. So that's why, guys, for now, again, we're probably going to stay somewhat on the neutral side and just wait for a clear breakthrough one of our levels. So basically, on the upside, what we're looking here for is a push above the high of this week near the 0.6885, and in order to consider higher levels, But in terms of the downside here, now this is where it could become exciting for the sellers. If we see a drop below yesterday's low here near the 0.6823 zone, this would also of course place the rate below this medium-term upside support line, and well, it could increase the chances of a further drift lower. Initially we'll aim for this little low near the 10th of December. We'll see how it performs around here, if it rebounds or if it doesn't rebound, or if it just breaks straight away. But a slightly better target for us is of course the low of the 29th of November, and that's roughly around the 0.675150 territory. So keep your eyes on that one. GBPNZD now, looking at this one, so it's climbing higher slowly. It's pushing above its 200 EMA, so that's wonderful already. The only thing is with the upside, we need to see a good push above the 1.9840 zone here, which is the high of the 7th of January, or in other words, the highest point of January. If we do get a break above this, this would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and yes, we could aim for higher levels then, because for now guys, although yes, we are pushing up here, still be very careful in case this territory, the 1.9840 level holds, because if it does, then we may see a bit of a slide back down. So let me just quickly highlight this area for ourselves. And it may drift back down a little bit. The only the only thing then that could support the buyers would be this little short-term upside support line here, taken from the low of the 26th of December, roughly around there. Yes, then yes, this is where the bulls could still step in and drive this one back to the upside, and in a way we could be getting ourselves a nice ascending triangle pattern. But again, for now that's too early to talk about that. Let's see how it's going to perform around the 1.9840. If it gets broken, then yes, we will aim for higher levels, initially targeting the 1.9952 53 zone here, or then the slightly above that. We do have that psychological 2 mark, which could be a nice area of resistance as well. But again, for now it's the upside. For the upside, we need to wait for a nice good push above this barrier here. In terms of the downside, well, it's pretty straightforward. A drop below this upside line could in a way open the path towards slightly lower areas, so keep your eyes on that one. USDCAD now, very quickly. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because I've talked about this one already in recent videos, and basically we're still waiting for a clear breakthrough one of these highlighted areas. One of the levels that I've mentioned as well, that was this one right here, the 1.3080 zone, because if we get a push above that, then yes, it increased the chances of a possible move higher. So we did get initially that, and this is what I was talking about previously, because what I was saying that this 200 EMA might provide some decent resistance initially, or in a way the last barrier to overcome would be this 1.3105, because if we do get a break above this level, this would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and yes, we could aim for the 1.3175 or even above that. We did get a break above the 1.3080. We did also get a hold up near the 200 EMA. So that's why, guys, for now, in order to get comfortable with higher levels, wait for a break above this area here, the 1.3105 first, before examining the upside. In terms of the downside, pretty straightforward. The 1.3025, that's our level in order to consider slightly deeper extensions to the downside. So keep your eyes on that one. And finally, EURUSD. So perfect movement. This is what I talked about yesterday in my traders tea time. Given the fact that we were trading already above the 1.1103, what I was saying that yes, in a way it increases the chances of a push further north. The only problem here could be all these EMAs. So what happened exactly? So because what I was saying yesterday, that for us to get comfortable with higher levels, we need to see a push above the 1.1143 zone. We never traveled to that area, and you can see that the rate rate got held near the slightly below the 200 EMA here on the 4-hour chart, and then drifted back down. So that's why this is what I was saying, that if we see a drop back below the 1.1103, this increases the chances of a test of this medium-term upside support line taken from the low of the 1st of October. So for now, everything's working out according to plan. The only thing now is to watch, of course, this territory here, the 1.1066 mark, roughly around here, and if it holds, this could be great news for the buyers. But if it starts breaking, then well, be very careful and wait for a daily close and see how the daily candle will end up around this level, because for now, basically, don't forget also that we are we could be having some certain things like false breakouts, so that's why we could see maybe a strong drop low, or maybe a test, even a test of this 1.1038 zone, and then quickly a strong rebound back to the upside. So that's why, guys, be very careful with this one, and keep your eyes on this upside line. Also, to keep an eye on something, let me just quickly jump into the economic calendar, guys. Let me just bear with me one moment. Now, what I was trying to basically say, guys, is the fact that for the euro dollar, keep your eyes on the on tomorrow's data, because, or should I say tomorrow's ECB meeting. Now let me just double check what time is that one is going to be. So that's going to be on Thursday. Yes, so we have the interest rate decision, of course, in the beginning, but then we'll have the normal ECB press conference. So that's why we might see a bit of movement tomorrow. So let's say if today the pair remains somewhat flat here around this area, then wait for tomorrow, as we could see a bit more action in the euro dollar. But again, as always, I suggest not to trade during any releases. Just wait for the aftermath, and just to be on the safe side. And then when the pair will establish its next further short-term directional move. Okay, guys, I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for sticking around and watching it till the end. If you want to join me later on at my traders tea time, as always, that's 14:15 GMT. We'll be happy to kind of see you there, see your presence there. But yep, for now, guys, I hope you have a wonderful trading day, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.